Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
This camera and I are getting ready to go 18 rounds. Man, 2 weeks in a row. And I fixed it this morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday to all of you. I hope you enjoyed, well, what we thought was going to be a snow day for us in Alton. But hey, we all stayed safe. What needed to happen. We got a good show for all of you today. Keith Short and Associates joins us in just a couple of minutes, going to fill us in on a little bit of their services and just what they do for the community. Then at 10:10, we talk with Jeff and Trail Life and get the latest from them. Jeff joined us a couple of years back about the Trail Life magazine and their organization, and they're a part of a trivia night that's coming down the pipeline. So going to get a little bit of more detail about that and Trail Life as a whole, and then coming down the pipeline at 10:30 today, more great conversations, hopefully, because I kind of messed up on this. I texted the wrong number back to confirm the interview with Sonny, and really hope that Sonny joins us today to talk about Fountain Hill, which is going to be a great addition to Grafton, what they've done with Santino. So hopefully we can get that at 10:35, if not completely on me, and we'll reschedule that. But yeah, I got a text, or got in the office today, and I had a voicemail that said, have we confirmed this yet? And I thought, well, I thought I did, and texted the wrong darn number. So, anyway, it's a Thursday. Here's what you need to know. 9:04, top of the hour news hitting you right there square on the face. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update and join myself and the 70,000 plus people that are truly in the know each and every day of the work week, and even on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend. We'll take you right to the big state news first. So many of you weighing in. Mike Madigan, the former Illinois House Speaker and longest-serving legislative leader in United States history, convicted on the 12th of conspiracy, bribery, and wire fraud in that high-profile corruption case. A jury found him guilty on 10 counts while acquitting him of 7 others. Madigan, who led the Democratic Party of Illinois for over 3 decades, was implicated in schemes involving ComEd and efforts to secure a state board position for a Chicago alderman. The trial featured testimony from over 60 witnesses, highlighting the need for ethics reform across the political system. Also in the news today, a United Airlines regional jet slid off the runway at St. Louis Regional Airport, St. Louis Lambert International Airport, shortly after landing on February the 12th. There was a typo in my news report, leading to the temporary closure of runway 1129. The incident involving Flight 4427, operated by GoJet Airlines from Washington Dulles, occurred at 10:50 yesterday morning with 27 individuals on board. Now, fortunately, all passenger and crew members were safely offloaded and transported with no injuries reported as well. The FAA has launched an investigation into this incident. GoJet, a regional airline based in Bridgeton, operates under the United Express brand. Also in the news today, the Madison County Recorder's Office has received a 2024 award for successfully enrolling over 23,000 property owners into the Property Fraud Alert program. This achievement followed a mail-out of over 58,000 promotional letters to property owners in November. County Clerk and Recorder Linda Andreas aims to enroll the entire county with significant progress already made. Now, the PFA is a free service that alerts subscribers via email, text, and phone if any property document is recorded in their name, helping prevent property fraud, one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes. We'll keep you updated when more numbers are submitted to us. In Glen Carbon, 2 significant street improvement projects are moving ahead after receiving unanimous approval from the village board. Trustees voted 6-0 to contract TWM Inc. for the initiatives. The first project involves a almost $200,000, $197,800 storm sewer replacement on South Main Street, and it's divided into 2 phases. Phase 1 will replace all inlets and storm sewers from the covered bridge to School Street, while Phase 2 extends to Glen Crossing Road. The second project focuses on Forest Ridge Court, costing around $98,000. Which includes replacing curbs and gutters and adding a new asphalt section. Both projects are set to enhance the local infrastructure. We'll keep you updated as more details on those plans and projects keep rolling out. Also in Glen Carbon, the Glen Carbon Police Department has launched a new pension plan aimed at retired officers seeking to rejoin the force. Trustees recently approved a National Public Pension Fund Association NPPFA 401A money purchase plan presented by Police Chief Todd Link. This plan is designed for officers currently receiving benefits from the Downstate Pension Fund or those with over 10 years of service in another municipality, featuring no minimum employee contribution and a village contribution of 7.5% of base salary. The plan aims to attract seasoned officers. It will also be retroactive to January the 5th of this year. Let's take a look at weather, shall we? It's cold, like freezing cold outside. It's 15 degrees and it feels like 11 out there today. Breezy this morning with a passing flurry. It'll clear out and just be very cold tonight, mainly clear and bitterly cold. Make sure you alert others about the overnight warming location. Currently right now, air quality is at 51, which is moderate. And, well, there's not much hope for warmth today. Temperatures only reaching 26 degrees and dropping down to 12 overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, a high of 37 degrees, a low of 34 as we head into the weekend. And on the 15th, on Saturday, more snow and rain mixed in there, just depending on when that temperature starts to increase throughout Saturday morning. A high of 42 degrees and a low of 21. On Sunday, a chance of more snow, a high of 22 and a low of 4 degrees as we head into Monday, where we can see a high of only 23 degrees and a low of 9. That's a look at the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now at 9:10. It's cold, 15 degrees. It feels like 11. Time and temperature, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Wayne, each your local State Farm agent. You can also stay up to date in real time all the time by going to RiverBender.com /weather. Man, what a dreary weather report. You know, Florida's only 2 hours away by plane, my friends. Hey, you know what? You don't need Florida when you got Carver's Barbecue. That's all I'm saying. You know, at Carver's Barbecue, no matter when you stop in, whether it's for lunch or dinner, you're going to feel like you're kind of in just a vacation because of award-winning barbecue that's just melting in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? What doesn't go better on a cold day than warm barbecue? Just look at that pulled pork sandwich and brisket floating in front of your face. You know, whether or not you're hosting a party or catering your next event, Carver's is the place to go. You know, Carver's in Godfrey brings the flavor. Their platters are out of this world, and their catering options are even better. I tell you this story all the time. My family has given up on the whole cooking ourselves thing. We just let Carver's do it for us, and everybody's 10 times happier. There's so much less stress when it comes to the holidays, and everything's great. I mean, why wouldn't you just use Carver's when they make the best barbecue around that's award-winning, and you can just go in and pick it up and tell everybody, hell, even you cooked it. You know, take some credit. Who cares? You paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, carversbarbecue.com. Stop in whether or not you're getting a simple lunch or dinner, or if you're planning that big event. They're the ones you go to. carversbarbecue.com, 618-467-9999, or just walk in today and don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you on in there. Hey, before we take a quick break, let's take a look at downtown Alton, and we'll come back with More Daily Show after this.
Hello, it's me. I've thought about us for a long, long time. Maybe I think too much, but something's wrong. There's something here that doesn't last too long.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good. Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
But I keep on thinking about you, sister golden hair surprise, and I just can't live without you.
You know, it can always be Florida in our minds, you know. Welcome back to Our Daily Show, 9:15, little bit of change. It says it's 18. I don't even buy that. I'm sorry. My computer says 11, you know?
It's cold.
It's cold, but Holly's in studio. Holly Markham, partner with Keith Short and Associates, joins us, and, well, we made it here finally, you know?
Finally, yes. I didn't slide down the hill to come to the station.
Well, and really appreciate having you in the studio and just to learn a little bit more about the firm and just what you guys do day in and day out.
Absolutely. So, you know, we're very close. We're right up the hill, Market and 4th Street, kind of in a historic building there, which if anybody wants to come see our building, we're very proud of it. A lot of renovations. It looks really cool. So come in and see us. But we are primarily an injury law firm. We handle everything from my partner Keith, who was supposed to be here today, but unfortunately is under the weather. He handles a lot of medical negligence cases, so medical malpractice, people who are injured in nursing homes, car accidents, slip and falls, those kind of things.
Do you see a lot of medical malpractice cases?
We do, actually.
Wow.
Keith has developed a reputation of being a trial lawyer who's not afraid to actually go to trial. I think he's tried 7 or 8 trials in the last 18 months, which is kind of unheard of. There are many attorneys that go their entire career and never actually make it to trial.
Really?
Yeah. It's a lot of settlement that happens, but he likes trying cases. The courtroom's where he's most comfortable. So he's got one this month, one next month. In fact, we're actually so busy that we put an ad out yesterday for help. We need to hire another attorney because we're drowning in work. So anybody out there,
we got you today. We got your new career path today.
That's right. Anybody who wants to spend some time in the courtroom has got that experience, come and join us. We'd love to have them.
And that's fascinating to me too, because on top of helping and advocating for your clients and going to trial and doing all of this work, you still have to run a practice and a business with this too. And just overall with Keith and everybody else, how do you guys manage all that? With I've always been fascinated by the business side of a firm.
It's our staff. 100% it's our staff. We couldn't do it without them.
How many do you have?
We have upstairs, we kind of have our practice divided into 2 areas. So upstairs is our medical malpractice, personal injury, nursing home cases. And we have 3 paralegals and a medical records paralegal upstairs. And that medical records paralegal does nothing but get in the medical records and summarize them and things like that.
I'm sure that's crucial for everything that goes on upstairs.
It's the heart of what we do. Mm-hmm. And then downstairs, I handle our entire workers' compensation department. So I do all of our clients who have been injured at work.
I got to remember that.
And then I also do estate planning, which is wills, trust, that kind of thing, powers of attorney. I do probate, so when somebody passes away and they need to administer the estate, we do that. And then I'll do some small, setting up LLCs, things like that. 501c3s, which you're familiar with, the ones we've handled and the ones we are involved with. So it's a little bit of a niche practice, mostly injury, and then that kind of other stuff that I do.
Well, and when Keith's back in, we'll talk a little bit more about medical malpractice and all, because that is an interesting topic, and I'm sure that there's so much to really dive into and explore when we're advocating for that. But just on your side of things, how long have you been active in your career, and then how long have you been with the firm?
So it's kind of an interesting story. I started back in 2021, or 2023, I guess it is. Gosh. Yeah, 2023 is when I graduated law school and actually got licensed at the bar. And I worked at a firm in Edwardsville. And quite honestly, Keith was my very first boss out of law school.
Really?
Yeah. So coming out of law school, I worked for Keith. He taught me everything I know about doing workers' compensation, plaintiffs' workers' compensation. Mm-hmm. And honestly, when I started, I was one of the very few female plaintiffs' workers' compensation attorneys. There were some that did defense work, but when we showed up at the docket and it was on the petitioner's side, it was pretty much just me. Thankfully, that's changed. A lot of women have entered this side of the bar on that profession, but it's a neat area. It's very specialized, and it's got its own rules. It's got its own way of doing things. You don't go to a normal courtroom. You go through arbitration with arbitrators that are
Is that where we see the disposition stuff a lot, and are they in that one room and there's 4 lawyers around them? Is that kind of the setting?
We do a lot of depositions. Yeah, we do a lot of deposition work. So sometimes that's fun, and sometimes you're trying to keep yourself awake.
See, that's what I find interesting too, because we see on YouTube and Facebook and social media, and obviously the famous ones I think are the Trump deposition tapes that came out from the news, but also just any of them that come in, because we see these really intense depositions sometimes. But I'm sure in reality, it's like you said, it's all right, here we go. Let's keep focused.
And where did you go to kindergarten?
Yeah.
How about first grade? So you can tell who gets paid by the hour and who doesn't.
That's what I was curious about. Well, and see, when it comes to that, though, how many subtleties are there when it comes to workers' comp? Because I'm sure that's one of those things where if we fall or there is an accident at work, obviously the catch-all, or we just go right away. Workers' comp's got us. But when it comes to that, what are the complexities?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles, and it's an easy one to overcome, but something that people don't know, is that you have to report the injury to your employer within 45 days.
Okay.
If you don't do that, you're out of luck. There's no coming back from that. And so even if, sometimes there's the obvious injuries, a machine part fell and broke my arm.
Right. It's a visible one. Yeah.
Right. And then there's the less obvious injuries. You're typing all day long and you begin to develop some carpal tunnel type symptoms in your wrist. As soon as you believe or should have known that feeling that you have, that pain that you have is related to your work activities, 45 days to let that employer know. So it's really important to notify the employer. It's really important to document everything. And honestly, it's really important to go to the right doctor. There's a lot of doctors who are very good at what they do. They're excellent surgeons or treaters, but they don't want to touch workers' compensation cases.
I'm sure, because that could get a little bit interesting, to say the least.
Sure. They don't want to have to give their deposition.
Right.
They don't want to be a part of that process.
Right.
And if that's the case, then you might have excellent treatment, but get your case going nowhere because you don't have a doctor that's advocating for you.
And saying, might say, it's a variety or a combination of, elements that led to this injury instead of just maybe,
I don't want to say it. I don't want to be a part of it.
Wow.
So it's really important. That's why, I suggest that you get an attorney right away if you think you've been injured at work, because we can help you. We can give you lists of doctors that do accept workers' compensation insurance, because some of them just won't accept the insurance. They won't even take you as a patient if you have a workers' compensation case.
Wow.
So, that's a difficulty that you have. But it's important to, just stay on top of everything, document everything, file your claim timely. If you're asked to do a job search, do the job search, that kind of thing.
Right.
So, it's always our recommendation that you seek help right away. It's easier for us, quite honestly, if we get involved in the beginning, really close to when the injury happened, than if you come to us a year down the road and everything's kind of messed up and we have to unwind.
Well, and I can see where that gets a little bit tougher, too, because then you have to really start almost being Sherlock Holmes and going through the weeds of everything after a year. And heck, I can't even remember what I did yesterday half the time,
I understand that.
So when it comes to this, how important is it, too, because proactiveness, I'm sure, is, the cornerstone to success in any of these matters, whether it's workers' comp or probate and trust. If we aren't really, kind of being our own advocate in a way and not necessarily looking to sue anybody, you're going, oh, my back hurts. It's probably because of the way they have us in this office or layout or anything. But when it comes to just going, man, I need to kind of take a look at this. I need to take a look at my trust. I need to see if this is something I need to establish. How should we go about just kind of self-research when it comes to personal advocacy on the legal side of our lives?
Well, certainly, I don't recommend Google.
That's a great point.
On our own website and on our Facebook page, we really try to put out a lot of content and a lot of information. So if anybody wants to visit our website, it's siltrial.com, like Southern Illinois, and you'll find a lot of... That one.
I'm good. I told you, I work quick.
So you'll find a lot of information on the website, some basic information that'll kind of get you started in answering some of those basic questions. Another great way is to follow us on Facebook. We do a lot of question and answers there, kind of 3 key facts you need to know. And we try to put out a lot of content to educate people. But always, if there's a question, call our office. We offer free consultations. We're happy to have that conversation.
Well, and see, what I'm always interested about, too, and just kind of circling back one final time to workers' comp real quick, is the fact that I think sometimes we see like, maybe a trial show on TV, or we see a news report about these like massive settlements for workers' comp claims. And I'm not saying, to give a ballpark, but how important is it to be kind of realistic and just understanding what workers' comp maybe does? Because I'm sure there are settlements that, go a little bit further, and there are those big ones, but I'm sure a lot of this is just getting us back to where, we're kind of compensated for just our times, lost.
It is, and it's difficult because workers' compensation is a system that was designed to kind of be the middle ground.
Yeah.
It's supposed to help the employer and the employee resolve these disputes. It's not, somebody can have a car accident injury, and hurt their shoulder, and they can have the exact same injury at work, and one's going to be worth a different amount.
Totally.
So the way compensation works in workers' compensation is everything is based on your average weekly wage. So sadly, and sometimes quite unfairly, someone who's a higher earner who has the same injury as someone who maybe makes minimum wage is going to get more for their same injury.
Just because of that dollar amount.
It's all based on that dollar amount. So that's something that we have to explain to clients. You know, they a lot of times will come in and say, well, I know a guy who got this. Well, what was his injury? What was his surgery? Did he have permanent restrictions? And what was his wage starting out? Because that's really, it all comes back to, it's a big math problem in the end.
Yeah.
What was your average weekly wage? And then a percentage of disability of a body part, and you kind of work out the math from there.
When you're working, how many, and I shouldn't say how many times, but is it common or, an occurrence at all to see maybe a workers' comp case become more of a personal grievance at some point in time? Have you seen those ever,
We do.
That's what I was curious about, too. I not to put you on the spot, it's just there's so many spokes on the wheel, too.
There is, because, and that happens sometimes. The law says that they're not allowed to be retaliated against for having filed a workers' compensation claim, but it happens.
Wow.
It happens to our clients sometimes. And conversely, sometimes I got hurt at work and I'm just mad at the employer.
Right.
And so you do have to talk to your clients about, I understand your feelings. And unfortunately, in workers' compensation, there's no pain and suffering.
Right.
There's no, hey, my employer's just kind of rotten to me. They didn't fire me, but they're just not nice to me anymore because of this. Unfortunately, there's some things that the system doesn't provide for. It's not a perfect system, but we absolutely do what we can to make the best of it for our clients.
And how important is it really to have an honest conversation that first time around when you do have that consultation or that first phone call or interaction with your prospective client?
I think it's extremely important. I always want to set expectations.
Mm-hmm.
If I can give you reasonable expectations and then exceed those expectations, I've done a great job. But if your expectations aren't reasonable coming in, I'm never going to make you happy, no matter how well I do in the case.
Makes sense. Well, and one thing I really wanted to talk about was estate planning and probate and all that, because when I was over across the river, that was a topic that, really was so fascinating to so many people. And, obviously, it's never too early to start planning,
It's absolutely not. That's very true.
Well, and now I'm curious about this because I'm sure that, each state has its own set of rules and regulations, but take me through really your day-to-day interaction with folks when it comes to estate planning and all of that. Where does it start?
Well, first of all, people need to take a look at what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, it's something traumatic that's happened. A parent has passed away or they have a friend that died young. And that's what usually is the spark to kind of get them to come in and talk to me. Mm-hmm. Or they've had children, So what I say is anytime you've had a major life change, you've had a marriage, a death, a birth, anything like that, a divorce, that's changed your circumstances, you always need to either put a plan in place or reevaluate your plan. If you won the lottery,
right,
and your socioeconomic status has changed, then we need to reevaluate because there may be tax implications that need to be dealt with. Mm-hmm. But certainly, if you have children, you absolutely need to put a plan in place. You need to identify who you want to care for your children if something happens to you. That's probably the biggest concern I have with younger families that come to see me is we want to set that in place. We don't want to leave the courts to have to deal with a fight in that way.
Well, and see, that's what I kind of wanted to lead into because as a whole, I think people hear the term estate planning, especially my generation that's maybe not as informed on the topic, and they think, well, that has to deal with my will and who I'm leaving my house to. But there's so many different parameters when it comes to that estate planning side of things.
There is. And even if you have just a simple will, there's language that you put in a will that allows you to not have to bind yourself, get an insurance bond when you have to probate the estate. So it's little things like that that just make it easier for your family if something happens to you, whether you have children, whether you don't. If you are a young homeowner, you can do what's called a TODI, a transfer on death instrument, that transfers the ownership of your house without having to go through the court probate process. So it just simplifies everything for your family, and it's a good idea.
I'm going to find out who's getting my debt soon.
That's right.
No.
Sometimes that's the case.
But, another thing I'm fascinated about is I keep hearing, not keep now, but I kept at the time when I was over there, was about, different ways that, people do their, estate planning and different processes. And do you know how do you guys work? Is it an online, do you guys kind of have a cloud system where you can upload documents and all that? Or is it, in-house, print paper and all of the traditional?
So when it comes to a will, it has to be print paper.
Okay, yeah.
You're never going to get away from that, at least not with the statutes the way they are. Everything has to be an original signature. If it's not an original signature, it's not a valid will. So that being said, I do scan everything and put it in the cloud so that my clients, if they need a copy of it, I can easily access it and send it to them, especially with like powers of attorney. That's really important to have them digitally, because if they end up in the hospital, I can send it directly over to the hospital.
Oh, makes sense.
Almost instantaneously if they call me and need it taken care of that way.
Really unique.
Yeah.
See, I like that. You got a moment to stick around?
Sure.
I'm already fascinated. We'll take a quick break. 9:31, a little bit of change. They claim it's 15, and I'm telling them they're full of something. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. More next.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing? We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. 9:35, a little bit of change on this Thursday morning. I'm telling you, there is no way it is 15 degrees. I'm telling you. No way. It's cold down here, too. You know, we need that. I'm going to turn the boiler on soon. Getting back in here with Holly. And, at this time of the year, just because you have, obviously a couple of years now going here and got the, the feel of it, of just the cycles of the year. When do you see an influx of these, kind of will and trust and these phone calls coming in? Is it during the spring? Is it during winter when everyone's kind of cooped up? Do you notice a trend of those?
A lot. We get a lot of people who made it a New Year's resolution,
really,
to kind of get their affairs in order. So we see it a lot. Sometimes at the end of the year, we get kind of an influx too of people who I said I was going to get it done this year and I didn't get to it. So they come in December, or they have tax. They've talked to their tax planners and there's things that they need to do tax wise. So, it kind of just depends. But yeah, the winter time seems to be, people have better things to do in the summer than come in and talk to me.
What all goes into a will? What can go into a will? Is there anything that can't go into it? Is there any item that's like that maybe I own that I can't just necessarily go, well, it's cousin Jimmy's from, down the block?
Not necessarily. It all depends. I mean, there's intricacies, and a lot of people think you can just go online and print something out on,
right. I typed
find
it up
a legal
on
form. Yeah. But you miss that. When I have a client come in, I ask them about their family, and not just their family and who they are, but the family dynamic.
Yeah.
I need to know if, one of their children has a drug or alcohol dependency problem that we need to factor into.
Yeah.
I need to know if there's a child with special needs, and we need to accommodate for a special needs trust so that they can continue to receive like Social Security disability benefits or something like that.
Wow.
So there's all kinds of nuances that you're not going to get just filling out a form online. And that's just based on sitting across the table from somebody and having that conversation. But you can pretty much do anything in a will. Obviously, if you want to create some direction after you pass away and how things are handled after you pass away, you need to get into more of a trust situation. And then a lot of times I'll do hybrids where it's a will, but then a trust is created.
That's what I was curious about.
Upon your passing, or upon, if it's a married couple, upon the passing of the last to die, then the trust is created for the minor children. And that works really well too, without having to have the cumbersome trust throughout your lifetime.
Yeah. Well, and see, another thing, because I kind of joked about it when I said, who's going to get my debt? Does debt transfer over in the trust? So, like, if mom and dad, pass away at 75 and they refinanced 10 years ago and we didn't know about it and we thought the house was paid off and, let's say there's, $40,000 left on this bank loan, does that fall back into the trust and it's getting taken out of whatever's left and paid off? Or how does that work?
Well, it attaches to the property.
Okay.
So that, if you end up selling the house, if the trust or the trustee or the estate decides to sell the house, then obviously that loan's going to have to be paid off out of the proceeds before the proceeds are distributed to the family members.
Sure.
If somebody wants to keep the house, then that family member would need to satisfy that loan.
Gotcha.
Before they can take possession of the house. So yeah, it attaches to the house itself.
Makes sense.
Now, if somebody has credit card debt and things like that, that's never going to transfer to the children. So just because maybe your parent, unfortunately ran up a lot of credit card debt and later in their life, that doesn't transfer to the children. You don't have any obligation to come out of pocket to pay your parents' debt. The only thing used to satisfy that debt is the assets of that parent.
Now,
or that estate.
What if, because a lot of times you'll see, children, especially if that parent, is by themselves now, and maybe they're getting a little bit older, there's, not a joint bank account, but their name's attached to it just for, reasons of, someone gets sick or all of that. Does that have anything to do with the debt transferring over at that point?
It potentially can.
Okay.
And so there's two different ways to do that. And I've advised banking clients on this before because there's adding someone as actually a co-owner of
the account.
Yeah. And then it is a joint checking account, for instance. And then there's making somebody simply a signatory on the account, which says, it's my account, but my child can sign checks for me and help me in that respect. They don't own the account. The account is only still mine, but they're allowed to sign things.
Right.
So it's important if you're setting up an account and adding someone to your account that you're very clear with your bank about which one you're trying to do. Because if, oftentimes a parent will put the child that lives closest to them on the account with the intent that it be only for convenience purposes. And then when that parent dies, it's actually a joint account and that child gets that account, which wasn't the intent. It was meant to be distributed amongst all the children.
That's what I was fascinated about. So what happens if, let's say that was their intention, Grandpa, John goes into the bank and that's what he wanted to do was just have a signatory, but there's a mix up or there's some, whatever happens in the communication breakdown. And all of a sudden, there is can you change that at any point? I mean, what's the status on that?
So, during Grandpa's lifetime, grandpa could go in and make that
Does
change.
that ever affect it afterwards? If they go, well, you were a signatory or you were on this at one point in time and got dropped off of it, can they go back and look at that data?
That shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
I mean, if you're correcting it to change ownership. Now, if the grandson stole a bunch of money out of the account.
Right, that's a lot different.
Then that's a whole different thing. That's why we have lawyers.
That's why we have Dog the Bounty Hunter, too.
Yes,
we can send
right.
him after him. Well, and that's what I find fascinating, because it's just nuances like that, because our community is so dynamic, and I'm sure you see that with all of your clients, that everyone's different in their own personal lives and how their family's set up and their dynamics. And so I'm sure there's no one size fits all when it's picking up the phone and trying to call Holly about, our will, our trust, or should we even set up a trust, and what that conversation looks like.
It's absolutely not. And that's why it's important that the clients come in and we sit down and we have this conversation. And we might have a few conversations.
I'm sure, yeah.
I just met with a client last week that had more questions than answers. And so I sent them home with, okay, here's your list. Here's your assignment. I want you guys to sit down and talk about these things amongst yourselves. And then we'll reevaluate and we'll kind of pick up the conversation from that point.
Very interesting. We'll have to talk more about trust whenever you come back on the show. That's fun.
Absolutely.
So I got to ask you, though, you were mentioned, let's say someone won the lottery. Okay?
Yes.
I have a question. Do I even want to win that much money?
Of course you do.
Is it a hassle to keep all of that and manage it and put it in a trust and everything?
You can pay somebody to do that
see,
if you make enough money.
See, that's what I was asking, because I didn't know if you saw that ever. You're like, man, this is kind of a nightmare, Okay. And now, the other one is whenever you were growing up, like to me, I watched the Jodi Arias trial whenever she, killed her. But I love that Juan Martinez guy because he reminded me of Joe Pesci and My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, yeah.
But was there one person, like whether it was real or fictional, that you were like, you know what, this is cool. I want to be just like them.
So actually, when I was a child, we were in a boating accident.
Really?
And there was a local attorney here in Alton that represented our family through the course of that accident and helped us. And I remember I was asked to come to trial as an 8-year-old.
Wow.
I didn't end up having to testify, but he had prepared me to testify, and he'd kept me calm, my family calm through that process. And that's kind of when I realized that that's what I want to do for people. I want to be that source of strength in times of fear and uncertainty. So, I actually decided I wanted to be an attorney when I was about 8 years old and never wavered.
That's incredible. Well, and just following up on that point too, how important is it for you in your role whenever that, unfortunate, just to end on the trust side again, the will thing, when, all of a sudden that individual does pass away, and you have the emotions of losing a loved one, and you got maybe some personal vendetta over something that happened God knows when, over God knows what, 40 years ago, and we're still fighting over it, and we didn't know it at the time. How important is it to kind of maintain your notes on that family dynamic and, kind of not be, that outsider looking in, but in control without, being too authoritarian in a way?
It is very important. And, attorneys will tell you, any attorney who's worth their salt will tell you, document.
Just everything.
So make a note to the file. If you think that there was something strange in this interaction that may come up later on, make a memo to the file.
Wow.
But it's always important to get the attorney involved when you're winding up the estate. And, trying to keep the family together. That's always a hard thing.
That's what I was curious about, yeah.
There's always, unfortunately, so many families fall apart after the matriarch or the patriarch dies.
Yeah.
So I always I think open communication is really important. Whichever family member's been assigned that role of administrator or trustee, if they can communicate with their siblings and things like that and be kind of transparent, I think that always helps everybody feel like nobody's hiding the ball from them and heals the family in that situation.
For sure. Well, Holly, thanks so much for stopping by. And
Thanks for having me.
Can't wait to have you back on the show sometime soon.
Absolutely.
We'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com. 9:44, a little bit of change. It is just brutal outside. We'll take a quick break, and hopefully I get the spoiler turned on.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day.
Welcome back. Daily Show hitting you at 9:18. Getting warmer out there, 27 degrees, Doctor. Joining us in studio is Dr. Kishore Harjai, who is the Director of Division of Cardiology with Salute Care SSM Health. Did I get all that right?
You got it.
I was nervous. It was a nerve-wracking couple of minutes here, Doctor.
You did wonderful, CJ.
Speaking of hearts, man, mine was pumping when I was trying to get that one out. You know, a little nervous there. Well, and it's always a good time when we're talking about ways that we can, keep watch of our heart health, because it's one of those things, especially, around here, a rural area, we hear of the deer hunters that are going out and, every once in a while having a heart, episode of some sort. And then, here at our, own homes, it can happen at any time. And what better time to talk about really just taking care of ourselves and watching it.
Right. So, heart health, it's mostly about taking care of our lifestyle. It's about taking care of any risk factors that we may have for heart problems. So the commonest risk factors, as you might know, are smoking. Yep. That's a really, really big one. High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and also family history, which is really if any of your first-degree relatives have had heart problems before the age of 55 or 60 years. So all of those kind of merge together to cause heart problems. Mm-hmm. And as long as we are conscious about which risk factors we have, and we take care of those by going to our physicians, taking our medications as prescribed if we have any of those risk factors, and really, really just maintaining a very active and healthy lifestyle, which includes dietary habits, walking, doing, steps every day. So those are the things we can do to prevent any untoward heart attacks.
Just a quick follow-up to that, too. Sometimes I feel like as people, we think, we're maybe more active than what we are normally. Where maybe we think, well, we got up and we, did our daily activities, but I'm still having these, sort of effects. I'm still not feeling the best. Is it really important to kind of monitor or do a little bit more if we're still as tired or we're still not as active as we should be, even though we're doing those daily activities that we've come to grow a part of our routine with?
Right. So when we talk about activities, it's beyond what you would do as part of your job or household chores. By activity, I mean doing about 30 to 40 minutes of moderate activity several days a week, say 4 days, 5 days a week. And that could mean just going out for a brisk walk. It could mean going to the gym. It could be trying to accomplish 10,000 steps a day. It could be, weightlifting, being on the treadmill, doing the elliptical, swimming. That's what I mean by activity. Just doing one's daily chores. It's really not enough, because when we do our daily chores, we start and stop, and we start and stop, and we actually never give our muscles or our heart any exercise, so to speak. So having sustained activity for 30, 40 minutes a day is really helpful.
Well, I'm glad I asked that too, because, that really does become, especially with the conversations I have with my, family and friends, we go, man, we had a long day. I cleaned the whole house, and it becomes, what I'm talking about, it becomes this big deal, but it goes a lot further than just, doing the things we need to do. We need to be proactive, and we need to go out a little bit more than above and beyond to take care of our bodies.
Right. And also making sure we are eating the right stuff.
True.
Keeping our caloric intake in check.
And not drinking these.
Not drinking those, for sure. I don't drink those. I drink coffee, though. Which is not, coffee is not bad for the heart anyway. So, but keeping our weight in check, as you might know, about 65 to 70% of the U.S. population is either obese or overweight, and we got to really make sure we keep our weights in check by limiting caloric intake and increasing physical activity. When we do all that, the other risk factors tend to get better. So even if you have high blood pressure or diabetes or high cholesterol, keeping the weight in check, keeping the caloric intake under control, those things actually help the risk factors. As and on top of that, you may have to take your medicines as well.
Well, and when you're working with, or your division is working with, a patient that maybe is coming in that has a couple of different risk factors that are brought on by maybe a lack of active lifestyle. Maybe it's because of their poor eating habits too. When they start to work on those, what I find fascinating, because we talk a lot about mental health on this show and just how it kind of goes into our overall health too, whenever they start working on those, daily habits, being more active, when they're focusing on their diet and they're starting to see these changes, do you see an overall mood improvement with those patients 9 times out of 10 for a good percentage?
Yes. In a good percentage of patients, we will see an improvement in how they feel, being less depressed, being less anxious, being more upbeat, because physical activity releases certain chemicals within the brain, the endorphins, so to speak. And the more intense the exercise, the more the endorphin releases, and people feel happier, more grateful for what they have, and generally less down when they are more active.
And, on following up on that too, when you're working with those patients, what is it like to see them, coming in, if they're really following this and they're really working hard? Do you see that kind of reflection just on their outer personality, just in the day-to-day demeanor, when, when the moment you first met them, they first came in your office to, maybe a couple of months down the road after, getting some work done, going through maybe a annual checkup, they come back. Do you see any difference just on the outside or external side of things with your patients when it comes to that?
In fact, we do. In fact, that's one of the most gratifying things we see in patients, not just the fact that their blood pressure is controlled, their diabetes is good, their cholesterol numbers are good, but how they actually feel. And a lot of times that shows in a patient. They're smiling more when they come into the office. Their spouse is happy that you've been able to take care of them, so that their children with them, that's very gratifying to see an overall improvement, not just an improvement in the numbers, not just prevention of a heart event down the road, but an improvement in how they feel when they come to the office.
Well, and you mentioned family and support system a bit there, and I wanted to ask you, whenever you're working with someone who doesn't necessarily, maybe they haven't had a heart episode yet, but there's risk factors there and there's some troubling signs, Can they make it almost to where it's a family event where, we're getting active together, or we're going out and spending more time together outside, or going to the gym together? Have patients use that as kind of not a coping mechanism, but almost as a tool to keep this routine going?
Yes, that's a wonderful question. That's a great thought. First of all, just having that support system improves the prognosis of patients. That's been statistically shown over and over again that people who have less loneliness in their life, who are surrounded by family and friends and social circles, actually tend to do a whole lot more, a whole lot better. Whether they've had a heart attack or not, whether they've had a stroke or not, they live longer, they live happier lives. And in terms of doing things together, that's a phenomenal idea. I think goals, whether it's a goal of walking 10,000 steps or losing certain number of pounds or putting less salt in your food or quitting smoking, all those goals really work well if everybody living within the same household adopts those goals and they go ahead with it together. Then it becomes a shared mission instead of a single person's mission.
Well, and that's something I wanted to bring up too, because a lot of times we think of, certain battles as, kind of village battles where we call on our supporters, but even something like this to where, it could just be daily habit changes that lead to a better overall life. Why not, get preventative maintenance going early and do what you can do? I talked a little bit ago with somebody else from OSF. I forget who, but it was a great conversation about strokes is what we were talking about, but also the rise of maybe heart episodes or heart issues with younger people. Have you seen that in terms of your care and just some of the work that you're doing?
Yes, we have. The age at which heart disease affects people keeps on going lower. Younger people are affected. And I think much of that is related to the epidemic of inactivity that I see. The more we tend to stay indoors or avoid outdoor activities, the more inactive we become, the more weight we tend to gain, the more we tend to snack on unhealthy foods sitting around. The more we drink stuff
energy
like that.
drinks. Yep. So, I'm trying to quit, doctor. I'm trying. And
each one of those things has a cumulative impact on lowering the rate at which people start developing heart disease.
Something I'm always curious about, and I know that, sometimes you can't really, sometimes things just happen, but when it comes to heart issues and maybe heart attacks just at large, are there true warning signs like, maybe somebody's arms, getting tingly for a couple of days, or there's some circulation issues there, or there's some lightheadedness? Are there any, I don't want to say common, signals, but is there anything that you've kind of seen over the course of your career where you can interpret that as an early sign that something's looking wrong?
So there can be warning signs, but there is not always warning signs. So the commonest warning signs for patients or individuals who are developing blockages in the heart arteries over a period of time, those blockages get worse. The commonest early signs are feeling some chest discomfort or breathing difficulty with physical activity. So it would be like, I could walk 2 miles in 35 minutes, but now if I try to do that, I start getting this a little ache in my chest, or I start feeling short of breath. I can still do 2 miles, but it's not 35 minutes. Now it's taking me 55 minutes or an hour, or it would be like, I was able to vacuum the house. Now I have to stop 2 or 3 times. I was able to mow the lawn, but now I have to stop. And so a lot of times the family members are more tuned in to the fact that the individual is slowing down than the individual themselves might be. So that would be the warning signs. Yet, one cannot rely on having warning signs because a lot of heart problems do occur without previous warning signs. There are sudden incidents of a heart attack, sudden cardiac death. So it's really important that we see our regular primary care physicians at least a couple of times a year, especially after we hit the age of 40 years, because that's when the screening has to occur. Do we have high blood pressure? Do our blood tests show diabetes? Do they show high cholesterol? A lot of those things have no warning signs.
And see, this is why I just find it so fascinating, because every time we have a conversation, I hope even if just one person goes, you know what, I haven't made that appointment yet. I need to go do that. If we can do that for one person or two today, I think it's a good conversation. With that being said, do you have a moment to stick around?
Yes, I do.
We're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to pay a quick bill here at 9:30 on the nose. It's the 10th day of February right here in the heart of the 618. You're listening to our daily show on RiverBender.com, Roku TV. We'll be right back after this.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
With my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it.
The time is 9:34 on this 10th day of February. You're listening to Our Daily Show, or you're watching us on Roku TV. Welcome back. Dr. Kishore Harjay, Harjay.
You got it.
I did?
Yeah.
I was in my own head again. See, I just need to keep going with the flow, doctor. I was ready.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Randy's going to be laughing at me when I get done with this one. But we're back in studio, and we're having this really important conversation about our heart health. And, before we go diving back into what we can do, take me through your role and just what you do as director, within the systems.
So as director, my role is to make sure, first of all, that patients who are touched by St. Anthony's and SLU Hospital get the best possible care they can get. That's fundamentally the major role, is to make sure patients are happy and get the world-class care. In that role, I also recruit several other physicians, nurses, nurse practitioners to expand our ability to touch patients' lives, provide access either in the clinic or as an inpatient when they're admitted to the hospital, or be able to read their tests in good time, quickly, whether it's an EKG or an echocardiogram, do procedures like heart catheterization. So the director role oversees several aspects of that. In our team, we currently have 12 physicians, 4 advanced practitioners. We have 15 trainees, and we have about 10 to 12 nurses overall to help deliver that care.
Well, and with that being said, how important is it to have everyone that's affiliated within that division and a part of the team, well equipped and well versed, and also always learning? Because it seems like, you have your, obviously there's so many types of heart episodes and encounters you have with patients, and it seems like you have to react within a tenth of a second sometimes to determine the proper treatment path for someone.
Right. So training and equipment are two important things you touched upon. The training part is, it's crucial. We take the training of our trainees. We call them cardiology fellows.
Okay.
A fellow is somebody who has finished the training to be an internist, but now they are training for 3 more years before they can become a cardiologist.
Wow.
So we have our cardiology fellows. We train them in various aspects of healthcare. At SluCare, we get a lot of very complex patients. And in Alton, we have patients who are seeing a cardiologist sometimes for the first time. We screen patients and take care of them locally with ultrasound of the heart, stress testing, heart catheterization. In fact, I just did a heart catheterization earlier today. We look for valve problems and address valve problems. And in being here, the idea is that we take care of patients closer to their home.
Yep.
However, when the problem demands tertiary or quaternary level care, subspecialty care, then we are available to transition them to a higher level of care at St. Louis University Hospital.
Well, and you just almost had a crystal ball over there, because that played right into what my next, kind of topic was going to be, is the fact that, for so long, a lot of generations, the older ones, maybe my grandparents' generation and even some of my parents' generation, were used to a world of driving to St. Louis for everything when it came to appointments, or maybe even, some of those tests that you can do now here at St. Anthony's. How important is it to have those type of, that type of procedural work at St. Anthony's and that type of system to make sure that your overall, the bigger, people, the bigger cases aren't, getting time constrained? Because that's where I think it comes into is such a big fold, is the fact that you have all these network hospitals that can do some of this to alleviate the bigger, your guys' bigger networks.
Right. So, every question for me fundamentally boils down to, if I was the patient, what would I want?
Right.
That's where it begins. And what I would want is what we are striving to do here is take care of most of the problems locally.
Yeah.
Take care of patients closer to home, so their family is closer to them. They're able to visit with the family. And then be very cognizant that a lot of treatments require a higher level of care. So, for example, right now, at this point, most of the diagnostic testing that is necessary for the heart, such as ultrasound of the heart, EKG, heart catheterization, stress testing, and in many cases putting stents in the heart, all of that can be done at St. Anthony's for our local population, for our community here. We are also on the cusp of acquiring a special CAT scan and a special MRI, which would be focused on we have CAT scan and MRI, but the ones which are focused primarily on the heart, we are on the cusp of acquiring those technologies. We also have subspecialists from my group who come here and provide other treatments like putting pacemakers in the heart. And we've started a program recently to help patients with leg blockages. One of our colleagues, Dr. Arora, is highly subspecialized in taking care of leg blockages.
That's a big topic right now, too.
And there is a lot of prevalence of blockages in the leg arteries. Sometimes the blockages are so severe and they've been there so long that patients...
There you are. Hey, it's 1010 right here on The Nose. Welcome back to the studio live. You can see that conversation with OSF Healthcare available all the time at RiverBender.com/daily show. Sorry, I don't have my headphones on. I forgot I had music playing. We're going to take a quick break before we dive back into the live portion of the show, because we got to thank some sponsors. And before I do that, I just want to thank Village Dispensary, where quality cannabis and friendly faces await. They're not just about, all the glitz and glamour of, the industry. They're about supporting the community, and that's what I think's really important. So whenever you hear about Village Dispensary and you know of their products, just know that they're doing some great community work too, with some food drives and some great outdoor opportunities for the community to come together and vendors to sell their wares. We'll take a quick break, but don't forget to go by Village Dispensary right there in Godfrey on Northport Drive, or go to villagedispo.com to place your order today.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to Daily Show. Sorry, Jeff joining us on the line now via Zoom. Good morning. Happy Thursday.
How are you?
Oh, man, hanging in there. Happy Thursday to you.
It is February.
I'm just saying, at least we didn't have this cold yesterday, because I think we would have gotten some snow to stick more,
Yeah, I'm grateful that we're not digging out again.
Hey, coming down the pipeline on March the 15th, the 4th annual trivia night that you all are a part of. Before we dive into that, though, fill me in on how Trail Life's been as a whole.
Yeah, so Trail Life is just growing like crazy. There's over 60,000 members in 1,250 troops, so we're just one of those troops, and they're in all 50 states. So I know one of Trail Life's goals for this year is to have a troop within 30 minutes of every person in the U.S. So that's kind of where they're headed, and they're pretty far along that route.
Well, and, take me through that. So how can folks learn a little bit more about what your guys' chapter, has to offer? Or if someone is, maybe a little bit further out of the coverage area and there's not a organization, a Trail Life selection out there, how can they get involved?
Yeah, so the easiest way to get connected to a trail life troop anywhere in the U.S. is to just go to findatroop.com, and it'll bring open a map there for you, and you can kind of see what's available close to you. I know that there's at least 10 troops like right in the St. Louis metro area.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a new one starting up down in Columbia. That one should start up, I think, in the fall. But our area where we're located in Southern Illinois has at least 16 troops, and so in the Metro East area, there's like one in Maryville, there's one in Shiloh. We're located in Fairview Heights, and then, like I was saying, the one in Columbia that's getting started up. So
That's great. And take me through, just because it's been a few years since we've had you on the show, just a little bit about what Trail Life does just as an organization, some of the real, mission statement and the punch to what you guys have to offer.
Sure. Yeah. Trail Life is Christ-centered. It's church-based, so there's a big organization, like a national organization, but it's really focused on churches starting up troops. It's Christ-centered, like I said, boy-focused, and just kind of their goal is to disciple young men. I've been in Trail Life for at least 10 or 11 years with my oldest, and so I've seen that development along the way. Where we're starting to get that like flywheel of leadership flowing with the boys, and they're starting up. They run their own committee meetings and they do lots of planning. We had a lock-in in January that was completely boy-led, so like 16, 17-year-olds, come up with the schedule. They actually run it for the younger boys, and you can really see that development of them. Figuring out kind of where they are in the world and how they can be leaders.
Absolutely. And it's just another great organization to, talk about, because parents and guardians alike are always looking for that, better option and, maybe a new start too, or a new thing to try out too. And this is a great one to take a chance on, and getting back into March 15th, the 4th annual trivia night coming down the pipeline. What can we expect from this event?
Yeah, so we've been doing this trivia night for 4 years. We're really excited. We are co-hosting it with our American Heritage Girls troop that meets on the same night as we do. So we both meet Monday nights. It's nice because I have a daughter and I have sons, and so we go on Monday, and all of them have somewhere to go and to get that development.
Are the groups affiliated?
They are. So at a national level, American Heritage Girls, which has been around a lot longer. Trail Life is about 11 years old. American Heritage Girls is more like 30 plus years.
Oh, wow.
But they are like officially brother-sister organizations. So they work a lot together. And you'll find more American Heritage Girls troops in the area just because they've been around longer. But you tend to see where there's a Trail Life troop, you'll also have an American Heritage Girls troop meeting in the same place.
Wonderful. And, with this trivia night, what does this night mean for your guys' chapter locally, and just and also in terms of the national organization? But for you guys, what is this trivia night all about?
So what we're really trying to do is to make it easy for parents to be in Trail Life, not have like a financial payment that they have to make. And so our goal with this is to pay completely for any fees that boys have for the 2025 through 2026 year. Mm-hmm. And so if we can get, we're really looking for sponsors that are willing to step up and provide that. You're very little overhead. Pretty much all the money that comes in is going straight to paying for young trailmen to join. And it's a very lean organization, so those fees are not very bad at all. But we still don't want there to be anything like blocking boys from getting involved, just because of all the good stuff we've seen happen.
Well, and I think it's a true testament to what your organization, but the organization as a whole is all about, because you want to make sure that everyone has the same opportunities, no matter what the constraints are. And, take me into that real quick, because I know that, obviously with the Zoom, we're a little bit tighter on time than it would be a phone call just for the way the show works. But I'm so fascinated by this, because you've been there for 10 years and 11 years, and being there that long is a testament itself to the work the group does. But what have you seen in terms of true, character building, in terms of true, critical thinking from the children you've been around?
Yeah, so I kind of referenced our event in January where we had we call it like an indoor camp out, so it's a little bit cold for the younger boys to get out, and so we have them in. They do Nerf battles and dodgeball, things like that, board games, and then they still sleep so they don't go home all crap. But this year we actually turned that over to our adventurers. Our adventurers are the high school age boys, and we just said, pretend like there are no adults here. You guys are fully in charge. What would you do? So we had, they created that schedule. They planned out the meals that we had. They were ordering pizza and going running to grab that, and coordinating all of that. They led those events, so they knew they were setting up for them. Walking the younger boys through, because we start at 5 years old, so 5 up through 17. And we have about 40 trailmen in our troop, so it was a big event, and but it was really kind of a turning point, I think, for them in leadership, where they're like, oh, like I'm where the buck stops. I got to make sure that this actually goes through and does. I can't turn and be like, hey, Dad, what's going on?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw just a huge, and they're getting involved in all kinds of things. Like we have a first officer, a second officer, a quartermaster in our troop that are all high school age boys. As they are coming up, even through junior high, they start forming into patrol. So we have junior patrol leaders, and so we really have a good hierarchy of leadership, where it's the first officer, goes down to the patrol leaders and gives them information about like what we're doing. We saw this really happen over the summer, where we did survival training. We did like a whole week of survival training. And so they were helping develop, like, what do we want to do? And,
That's cool.
Feeding that information back down to the patrols so that they knew what to expect the next day.
Well, and really just think it's so fascinating to hear that, because, I mean, from all of the encompassing parts of what Trail Life does, including, these projects and events, it's great to know, too, that, I mean, all these things really build toward that bigger goal of, critical thinking and being able to use this, thought process and those processes as a whole throughout your entire life.
Absolutely. I mean, the goal is to build, leaders in the community, good dads, good husbands that are living full lives and really being a good, big part of their local community.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you a trivia guy? Are you pretty good here?
Oh, I love trivia. I even if I don't know it, that means you're learning something. So,
box out of 10, what are you thinking? Like, if you could rate yourself out of 10, box out of 10, what are you calling yourself here? Are you a connoisseur?
I'm probably a 7 or 8. I'm not.
Hey,
there's always a couple.
That's still 10 times better than what I was going to rank myself, because I was going to put myself in the negatives. But through this night, with just how you were describing a little bit with the past events and other things you guys do with the group, are they involved in the setting up now that they've kind of shown, hey, we can do this?
Absolutely. So what we have going on is that this year they're actually shadowing all of the leaders that we have. So we have people that are developing the questions, people that are working with the silent auction, and so there's all these different positions that we've had for all the years. And this year we've got trailmen and American Heritage girls that are shadowing, kind of learning the ropes, and the goal is for them to run it in the future. So.
Absolutely. Well, and now, you said sponsors are needed, and we would really love to get you a few more right here on the show today. We got some generous people out there and some folks that always want to contribute. Is it a 501c3?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Yes.
This is where I come in. Not Uncle Sam. Taxman's coming. Uncle Sam is not coming yet. Don't listen to me. Listen to the Big Four for that stuff. But the Taxman is coming. You need to get those donations in. And if not for this year, do it for the next filing year. See, life's looking good, and you're supporting kids that really just are doing some phenomenal work.
Yep.
I love it.
And if people are interested in coming to trivia night as well, it'll be a fun night. We'll have a silent auction. Doors open at 6 on the 15th. at March 15th, and then we'll start trivia at 6:30. And so it's a fun night. You'll hear a little bit more from the Trailmen and from American Heritage Girls, what it means to them. You know, one of the things I like to do when I'm talking to kind of some of the older generation, for me, is I'll ask them about those experiences that they had when they were growing up. And there's so many campsites and places in this area that these boys are the older generation spent their summers, and they were camping out and they went on adventures. And that's what we're trying to provide for these boys. And we're really excited about how it's turning out.
Who's the MC going to be?
We do not have an MC at the moment, so
wow.
No, if you're interested, maybe we can make it happen.
You know, honestly, this is a true statement. I was booked a year out for a couple of events for March already, but if I didn't, next year you got to call me. I will be a part of it next year. I will be your MC next year.
That would be awesome.
There we go. Well, also, how much are tickets and how many people per table?
So a table is 8 people. If you're coming as an individual, it's $20, but if you reserve a table, it's $120, which ends up being about $15 a person.
Oh, wow.
So very affordable. It's like going to a movie.
It's cheaper than going to a movie.
Yeah. And so if you go to our website for the church, edgemontbiblechurch.org/trivia, you can just click right there and get your tickets. There's also information about being a sponsor, and we already have some sponsors for this year, so they're already up there, and we really appreciate them.
Well, and you know, before I let you go too, what's the best way to get more information? If we can go back to those 2 websites, one for Trail Life, but also to find a troop near us.
Yeah, so if you just do findatroop.com, that will just bring up a map for you. You can put in your zip code, and it'll tell you exactly what you've got locally. And then at traillifeusa.com is more about like trail life in general, like how the program works. And then, we have a really good area team. So we have a point man for Southern Illinois. I'm a new troop organizer for Southern Illinois. People, when they go to that findatroop.com, if they don't have one near them and they're really interested in starting a troop, put your information in. You're going to get a call back from one of us. And just like Columbia, in August, I was down there walking them through what to do. We've had them up to our troop to show them like what it's like to start a troop. They've been through, there's training that you can go to. So it's a very well matured process, and it's very easy to get plugged in.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for stopping by. Always appreciate chatting it up with you. And best of luck for this trivia night, and let me know how it goes, okay?
Thanks so much.
Not a problem. We'll take a quick break. 10:28, Little Bit of Change, more Daily Show comes back right around the corner in the heart of the 618 right after this.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary. Come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. Daily Show hitting you in the nose on a Thursday morning. It is the 13th day of February. It's not Friday, so that's good. We're already off to a good start. And really, Grafton is getting some great stuff coming down the pipeline. Fountain Hill opening on March the 1st.
Yes, from 5 to 7.
This is
grand opening 5 to 7. It's Saturday night and open for business on Monday. I mean, on Sunday, actually, sorry.
Really cool. And Chuck, how are you doing today?
Real good.
So I told the story. I broke the ice with the audience already. I said I may or may not have texted the wrong phone number to confirm our interview. I texted, and I don't know who it was. I feel bad for the person. They probably think the feds are after them, or something. But we got it here now. And Chuck, this is exciting. Thanks for being a part of it, too.
I appreciate it.
Well, and, Sonny, Santino's was just amazing. When you guys started that, my family came and was a part of the, Easter brunches and buffets and all of these things you were doing for the community. And, I know that, you're moving on to Grafton, but what's it like knowing that, your legacy at Santino's has kept people talking and excited about this next chapter?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the whole community for supporting me and opening the arms for us and loving us in Alton. I don't know how, there is no expression. I don't know how to thank the people of Alton, how good they did for us and how much support I got and how much love I got. And unfortunately, I hate to leave Alton. I don't want to bring it up in cameras right now, but unfortunately, I have to leave. I hate to leave the Alton, but my son needed a job, so my son went and bought the Grafton. So hopefully, I'm going to help him out, and we're going to get things going together. And I'd like to invite everybody for a free buffet 5 to 7, and introduce us and let us know what we did to the building and what changes we made. And hopefully we're going to do the right thing for the Grafton too. And another thing I want to add on it, I did pay a lot of gift cards when I left that I left behind, but I want to make sure to tell the whole community, whatever it is, I paid a big amount to the new guy now that they're using my name and my signature. But anything gets left behind, I told them to stop so they can come and use in Grafton, and I will stand behind it. I want to make sure that everybody knows anything gets with my signature or my family's signature, I want them to come and use it with us and make sure that I stand behind everything I left behind.
This is why we love you, Sonny. This is exactly why we love you. And here, let me pull this microphone in front of you if you could a little bit, just because I just got a text. But, I really think that's such a big reason about why you guys were so successful, because that spot you were in was not an easy location for a lot of restaurants. I mean, that was a place where people were like, man, this is going to be tough. and you guys came in and knocked it out of the park, but it was your approach. I mean, you worked the floor, your son did, everyone did.
The whole family did help me, and I have a lot of good help in there, and most of my help been with me forever, and I respect them. They know that the customer service is very important, and we did a good job. Customer service, good atmosphere, good prices, quality food will bring the people in, and you take care of them, they'll come back.
What do you think, Chuck?
He is just truthful what he says.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first met him, he told me what he'd do for me, and I had a fraternity. I was over at Milliken in Decatur, and when the cook called in sick, I called Sonny because his restaurant was in our same block, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he'd say, a la carte, or do you want me to bring it over? So we'd switch it up. And sometimes he didn't even charge me, I'm telling
It's
you.
incredible. And see, it's about being a good neighbor and a good community member, too.
Like I say, again, I don't know how to thank the town.
Right.
I don't know how to thank the community. It's been nothing but the best. I have nothing but good things, and I love them so much, and hopefully they're going to support us there to help us out, and I'll be there for them too.
This is exciting. And by the way, if you're just tuning in, we were just talking about, Sonny mentioned, we'll talk about the grand opening and all the hours and when you have to get there 5 to 7 p.m. But if you have a Santino's gift card that has your signature on
My
it.
signature or my family's signature, I stand behind it 100%. They can come and use it anytime, which is when I sold the building, the place in Alton, I talked to the guy, make sure that he does not refuse my gift cards, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So, but he saved it all for me, so I went and I pay him back. I paid over $20,000 to him on a gift card that people left behind. So
I got a few
I want to
cards
make
in the
sure. I want to make sure that I want to take care of business, and I want to be proud of myself, and I want the town to be proud of me that what I did.
So, what led to you, and honestly, that's what I think is really incredible, too, and thanks for getting that out there in case anyone's interested in going, man, I did have that. But why the Grafton location? Was it just the interest of the building? Was the public wanting it?
Well, my son is a pilot, as you know.
Oh, okay.
And he has a little difficulties getting job right now.
Right.
So I like to put him to work. So while I was working here, before even I sold those, he was looking to buy that place.
Really?
Yes, one of our friends has like a real estate agent, and she showed it to us, and then he kind of liked it. He saw the town, he went around, he liked it. He drove around with his friends one day, and he liked the place, and I want to put him to work. Simple as that. I want to put him to work. He's got to start making money for himself and his family.
Well, now this is the old Fin Inn, correct?
Right. This is the old Fin Inn that we bought now. Yes.
Yeah. And now, are you keeping the fish tanks?
I am going to keep half of them.
Really cool.
Yes. A lot of people have good memories in there, and I want to maintain the memories. But I don't want to overdo it because I'm going to make a joke now. A lot of people come and say when it was Fin Inn, a lot of people loved it. But a lot of people say it was creepy when the fish were looking at them when they're eating the fish.
I always felt that way at Red Lobster, when those things were looking at me.
But again, I kept, because I have a good comments from people, I kept half of them in the dining room and some of them in the bar area.
Really cool.
Just for people to have memories that they've been there before and stuff like that. But if they request more, I can always make more there. They're there.
Yeah.
But what he told me was, I'm putting pretty fish in there.
What type of fish?
We're going to put ocean fish, like a color fish and a very
saltwater?
Nice... Well, salt water, but the water is not salt inside, but obviously they can survive in a water like that with chemicals and everything. The guy from Jerseyville, he's a very good kid.
Uh-huh.
He's working with me, and he's making the fishes. That's what he does for a living.
There was a fish. I used to be a fish connoisseur for about a month and a half, and I realized I am not good with fish personally. I just couldn't get the water right. But I went to the store, and I'm telling you, they fed this fish hot dogs, and it had these teeth. It wasn't a piranha. It was. Imagine having one of those floating in your tank. You know, that could be you could be dinner.
Yeah, I'm not very good at maintaining them, but I like watching them.
That's exactly right. Well, and when a push comes to shove, on March the 1st, you're open 5 to 7, correct?
5 to 7, but I'm going to invite the whole community of Alton if they would like to come, and I will open 4 o'clock for you guys. So 1 hour before, so make sure I feed everybody that day.
And then he's going to back to the buffet on
and
Sunday.
back to the buffet regular days on Sunday for regular business.
This is
brunch.
This is so cool. And now
Thank
brunch
you.
price. What's brunch price?
Price is going to be $12.99 for kids.
This is so cool.
Includes everything: soft drinks, desserts, everything.
Drinks too?
Yes.
Oh, you're making every parent happy, right?
I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed.
Well, was there any hesitation about doing this again or anything?
Not really. I took a little break, and I had a good time for 6 months.
Yeah.
Over 6 months, and I'm like workaholic, and I like to get back to work, and I'm not rich yet to retire, so I gotta go back to work. Fortunately, I gotta make a paycheck, pay my bills. So I enjoyed every bit working with people and talking to people, meeting new people.
Love this, and it really and I think that's what really shone through, because I mean, like I told you, Chuck, in our interview, we had 14,000 people that tuned in and watched that, and it's just people really did enjoy hearing from you, and it's because of that. My parents said the same thing the first time they went into your place. It was like, man, this guy's awesome,
And again, I'm gonna interrupt you for a second. I feel terribly bad. I did sign the lease, like I told you last time I was here at Santino's, but unfortunately, I had to do what I had to do.
Well, and honestly, there's no sense in hashing that out today, because there's a lot of good things coming down the pipeline.
I know, but it bothers me because I like to take care of my people.
Well,
I don't like to walk away from people. They love me and support me and open the arms for me.
Since I've known him so long, I'd always ask him, "You're staying here, right? You're not leaving me. You're not leaving me." He goes, "No, I got my roots." And then when he sold his property in Decatur, he goes, "This is the only place I got."
Yeah.
But with that, he's the type of person that he knows a lot. He's very friendly. He gets to know a lot of people. Just a little side thing here. He had some mental, not medical problems.
Not mental.
Medical.
Medical.
I have the mental. I have those.
And I sometimes have memory loss. But I took him to the BJC out in Godfrey, and I picked him up, took him in. He went to the counter, sat down. This woman was my neighbor where he bought a house at. And then as he's checking in, the nurse, she comes to my restaurant. And then when he comes back out, he goes, "The person took my blood. She loves my restaurant." And I went, "You know more people than I know in Godfrey."
Well, and see, that's a good, and you're right about that, because people were kind of, I think, going, man, it's
bummer. It's bummer. It bothers me, and I have a lot of people call me in a personal phone. I give them my Facebook or whatever, and it's not what I wanted to do. Let's put it that way. It was not my call. Yeah. I had no other choice.
But he does have an eye open for Alton too. I think.
Well, and that's good. Good teaser.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good clarifier, because what folks don't know, and this is why I kind of started the show too, and we talk about the things in hindsight after they happen, but for all the smiles and all the fun that we have when the business is in operation, from 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, whatever business is open for, you don't see all the BS that kind of goes on in the back end where you're just trying to get things done.
And you don't.
And it's good to kind of touch on that without divulging into it, Sonny.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly. I just briefly want to let people know it has nothing to do with the town. It has nothing to do with me.
You have a moment to take a quick break with me? Yeah. I got to pay a bill.
Okay.
10:43, and we'll come back. We'll talk about the grand opening. You guys in Grafton are blessed, and now for all of us in Alton, we have another reason to get to Grafton. Oh, also, Grafton for Lovers this week, and make sure you stop by and see all the Grafton Chamber of Commerce businesses and all that good stuff as well. 10:43, more conversation comes our way next with now Fountain Hill, open March the 1st.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. As Mayor Brant froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget, his economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that.
1047, welcome back. Daily Show hitting you on the nose. 13th day of February. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And on March the 1st, I mean, maybe you can rain check a Valentine's Day dinner for March the 1st, you know, or maybe even...
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
Well, I buried the lead, as always. I'm pretty good at this, Chuck. I bury the lead a lot. 5 to 7 on March the 1st. This is what I think's cool. FREE. That is spelling free for X Santino and customers and the folks that have loved you all these years.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to invite, like I said again, I'm going to invite everybody. And I think I'm going to open for 1 hour earlier. So I'm going to open for the Alton area to come 1 hour early. So around 4 o'clock. And for everybody else will be after 4 o'clock. So which is 5 to 7. It's going to be free buffet for everybody. Come and join me. And thank you for all this year that supported Santinos. And thank you for being right by us. And I'm going to acknowledge you to always support Santinos because the guy is a very nice guy. And hopefully he's going to do the right thing and the right stuff for you guys. So
really cool.
I will support Santinos to the day I die because you guys were there, everybody was there, and I just want you guys to know that part of me is Santinos.
That is so cool, man. And it's just... Yeah. It shows truly, though, what it takes to be because some people just think being a business owner, Sonny, or being somebody in the community is just putting your name on something.
Me emotional.
Yeah, but you lived it. I mean, from all the stuff you did, and I'm not trying to patronize you, but you gave lunches to so many people and you dropped things off. You were you lived this community.
Ask him how, Sonny, tell the story how you got to the United States.
Well,
what age
is it?
I got 17 when I was here. 17 years old. I got here.
In Chicago?
Yeah, I got here when I was 17 years old. I had a visa. I had nobody here, and I had to survive for myself. I hardly speak English. Not that I speak any better now. But at the time, I didn't speak nothing.
Wow.
So I work as a dishwasher. I started in Olive Garden, then I work in a baker's care. Then I work in a nice Italian restaurant. It's called Silviano's for 6 months, and then I decided I cannot wash dishes no more because I would never learn in English. I cannot talk to the dishes.
Right.
So I came up front. I had no money to pay for school, so I had to learn by talking to people, and it was not easy, but I wanted to be entrepreneur. It's like, I'm going to say this word like John F. Kennedy said.
Yeah.
It's not what the country does for you. What can you do for the country? And I've been here for over 35 years. I had a lot of businesses. I employed a lot of people. I worked through a lot of towns. I respect them. I love them. And I'll do anything I can to take care of the United States.
And see, this is what I just find incredible, because so many times, and I just had a recent interview on with a gentleman that does a lot of the consultations and stuff for financial firms that are bigger, and he tells people all the time the same thing you did. It's not what we're going to give to you, it's what you're going to be able to give for the greater good, and really just live it. The American dream's not dead if you work for it.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell the new generation, including my kids, if you wanna become somebody in the United States, this is the land of the opportunity. You gotta wake up, put your mind to it, work hard, you will achieve it. And it's the only way to make it go. No other way. No crap. No nonsense. Get up, put your mind together, go to work. And if you don't make $100 a day, you're gonna make $10 a day. You don't lose $20, but you're making $10.
Yeah.
By sitting home, you staying home, wasting $20 because you gotta eat.
Exactly. You just hit it on the head. And I'm not to go back and rehash the emotional side of this, Sonny, but this is why, I always talk about, because I did professional wrestling and went to Austin and all these places. I got to do some fun stuff already. And we talked about, the big thing is you had to give a speech on what made your hometown special. I didn't have to say nothing, because it's people seriously like you that are, not just your business that's selling and serving great food, but it's the fact that you literally love this place. I
do enjoy it. I want to make it work, and I refuse to lose. Let's put it.
I love it, man. This is why we love you.
Yeah, and I refuse to lose, and I like to take care of my people.
And see, it just shows through every time. And now, I think that's why so many people just are following you over and saying, we're ready for Fountain Hill. What was up with the name on Fountain Hill?
Well, Fountain Hill becoming my idea name because I built a nice fountain in front of the building.
Oh, okay.
And the building gets on a hill. So I put two together, Fountain Hill.
That's cool. It's elegant, too. Yes, I like it. Very simple, elegant.
And it's a little steakhouse. I believe Grafton has a lot of good restaurants.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of fast food restaurants.
True.
Like bar and grills and stuff like that. And I wanted to bring something nice for Grafton and for the community. And hopefully it's going to work out, and I'm going to do the right thing for everybody.
What's your menu going to be like?
It's going to be steaks, pastas, seafood, mostly steak and seafood house.
Really cool.
But we're going to have a lot of chicken, a lot of pasta, specials every day, different and stuff like that. So
I love this.
And
it's going to be good.
Great desserts.
Of course, desserts. Don't forget, we have the Cheesecake Lady, homemade desserts.
Oh, she's the best,
yes,
isn't she?
Homemade desserts.
Oh, man. And see, it's things like that, too, where, having the Cheesecake Lady, and honestly, just that partner, bringing her on and all.
She is a good kid, and she needs the support she can have. So hopefully everybody's going to listen to this and go back to her and support her. And it's a small business, so hopefully help her out.
I'll tell you this right now. We had Thanksgiving, and my mom got a cheesecake from the Cheesecake Lady. You do not want to go near my dad when that thing is in the kitchen. I'm telling you. That almost ended up being an ID channel thing. We were on almost a murder mystery. Don't touch it. It's mine. But, the 1st of March is a Saturday. I have figured that out after saying Friday 85,000 times during the commercial break. But Saturday, March the 1st, 5 to 7 p.m.
4 for everybody for Alton area.
Yes. 4 for the Altonians.
Altonians, I like that. Altonians.
5 to 7 for everybody else. And then the brunch, Sunday.
Sunday brunch, we're going to have from 11 to 2. We're going to have a lot of items in there, like over 20 items, like normal. And then it's going to be $12.99, includes soft drink, desserts, and $9.99 for kids.
Who eats that well with that price?
Exactly.
You go to McDonald's, that's a Big Mac.
That's the name of the game. You take care of the people, people take care of you.
That's right. And Sonny, anything else before we say goodbye for now?
I just want to thank you, everybody, and thank you for inviting us in your studio
Anytime.
here today. It was very kind and very nice, and I want to see you face the day before everybody there, so you can enjoy it and have a good time on me. Hopefully, we're going to do the right thing for everybody. Please come, just be part of us and join us. And I'm going to let you know one more time that I love you, I respect you, and thank you very much for supporting us for all these years. And hopefully we can do it again.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you. You're welcome back anytime, too. Any other events, brunches you want to promote, the floor is yours.
You made my day.
We're excited. We're back with Fountain Hill and Grafton, March the 1st. 4 o'clock is for all you Altonians, 5 to 7 for the rest in that Sunday brunch to follow, plus open after that for you guys to come in and enjoy. A quick break, more Daily Show as we wrap up Thursday morning next.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday grabs like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I'm out of time, but I'll see you tomorrow on a Friday. Until then, just try your best to stay out of jail.